अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति शुभदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणं रघुनाथामितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्तांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमस्ते तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयति गिरिं यत्कृपातुं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदिनतारिणि श्रीचैतन्येश्वरं परमहंसं। Hare Krishna. So welcome to this session. We'll discuss about chapter 8 of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, that is attaining the Supreme. So yesterday we discussed about how Krishna says Arjuna to hear Gyan and Vigyan, knowledge about the soul, knowledge about the Lord, knowledge about the relationship between the two, between the soul and the super soul. Am I audible?
Yes,
Beautiful.
Prabhuji.
So then, actually, Krishna gave the importance of hearing. So in also devotional life, when we hear with attention, then we contemplate on that subject matter, and then we ask question, and then get our doubts clarified. So gradually, the Lord in the heart comes closer. Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita, "Tesam satata yuktanam bhajatam pratipurvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yenam avupajantite." Whoever is constantly practicing Tesam satata yuktanam bhajatam pratipurvakam and uh, worships me with love, Dadami Buddhi Yogam. I give him the transcendental intelligence so that he can come to me. So, so there are two gurus, one guru within and one guru without. The within guru is Paramatma, and spiritual master is guru without. So then we discussed about how Krishna is the cause of everything. We discussed about primary creation, secondary creation, then how Krishna is omnipresent, omnipotent, and omniscient. And then Krishna is the essence of everything, like Krishna is saying, I'm the taste of water. So, so then question arises, why, why not everybody surrenders? Then Krishna says that there are four types of Duskritina who do not surrender unto me, and there are four types of Sukritina who surrender unto me. And then Krishna says that demigod worshipper, like some people, some approach demigod for quick benefit and actually Alpamedhasam, they are less intelligent. Hmm. So likewise, also we see in our society also some worship the celebrities also. So in this case, celebrities are also like the demigods. Hmm. But last in the last, Krishna is saying pure devotee is one who doesn't ask Lord any material thing but only love. So now we'll proceed uh, eighth chapter. So in the previous chapter, Krishna mentioned several terms, starting with Brahman, and in this chapter, Arjuna inquires about them. Lord Krishna answers seven of them, and the last question in the rest of the chapter. Krishna also speaks about Kevala Bhakti and Yoga Mishra Bhakti and describes the two destination of the yogis. So, first 1 to 4, Lord Krishna answers Arjuna's questions. So, we can read it. Just a second. Yes, please read with me. Arjuna Uvacha
अर्जुना उवाच
Kim tad brahma kim adhyatmam
किं
किं
तद्
तद्
ब्रह्म
ब्रह्म
किम्
किम्
अध्यात्मम्
अध्यात्मम्
kim karma purushottama
किं
किं
कर्म
कर्म
पुरुषोत्तम
पुरुषोत्तम
adhibhutam cha kim proktam
अधिभूतं च किं
अधिभूतं च
प्रोक्तम्
किं प्रोक्तम्
adhidaivam kim uchyate.
अधिदैवं
अधिदैवं
किम्
किम्
उच्यते
उच्यते
This is also abhijnanah katham kotra abhiyagya
अभिज्ञाग
अभिज्ञान कथं कोत्र
कुत्र
abhiyagyah katham kotra
अभियज्ञं
अधियज्ञ
कथं
कथं
कोत्र
कोत्र
dehesmin madhusudana
देहेऽस्मिन्
देहेऽस्मिन्
मधुसूदन
मधुसूदन
prayana kale cha katham
प्रयाणकाले
प्रयाणकाले
च
च कथं
कथम्
ज्ञयोऽसि नियतात्मभि
गयो अस्ति
ज्ञेयोऽसि
नियतात्मभिः
नियतात्मभिः
Okay. Siddharth, please read the translation, first translation. Arjuna inquired.
O my Lord, O Supreme Person, what is Brahman? What is the self? What are the fruitive activities? What is the material manifestation? And what are the demigods? Please explain this to me.
Second, please, Ranjit.
Uh, okay, so oh my,
Who
who
is
is the
the
Lord of sacrifice and how does he live in the body? O Madhusudana, and how can those engaged in devotional service know you at the time of death?
Okay. So Arjuna is asking 8 questions here. What is Brahma? What is Adhyatma? What is Karma? What is Adhibhuta? What is Adhidaiva? And what is Adhiyagya? How is the Adhiyagya known in the body? how to know you are the point of death, prayana kale. So now we'll move. So this is the lessons we are going to learn today. One is there is dead, abbreviation is dead, like doubts, end of life, attaining the supreme, and then devotion. So first is doubts. So Arjuna is asking, what is Adhyatma? Soul, body, and mind of living beings. Who has passed away? The soul has passed away. Adhi means controller. huh? That means who is the one who is controlling the whole body. huh? That is called Adhyatma. Then Arjuna is asking, what is Brahman? So Brahman is indestructible and eternally existing and refers to the living entity. But beyond Brahman, there is Parabrahman, refers to the Supreme Lord. Like we are Brahman and Krishna is Parabrahman. We are Atma, Krishna is Paramatma. So then Arjuna was asking, what is karma? Hmm? Material consciousness, Jiva's nature is to try to be the Lord of matter. Various material bodies by force of material consciousness is called as karma. Due to karma, the people, the jiva, they jivas, they take birth again and again. So one is material consciousness and another is spiritual consciousness. Jiva's position is to serve the Supreme Lord. Yesterday I discussed Seva Vritti and Bhoga Vritti. Then what is Adhibhuta? Ever-changing material manifestation. The physical nature is constantly changing. The material bodies generally pass through 6 stages: birth, growth, maintained, produce some byproducts, dwindle, and they vanish. This physical nature is called Adhibhuta. This kind of six changes happen in the body where soul resides. Without soul, this kind of changes is not possible. Like there is a produce some byproducts. So one male part and one female part, they can produce a byproduct. But the thing, material thing, the where there is no soul, they cannot produce byproduct. Like you cannot say like Mercedes-Benz car and BMW car, they produce a nano car. It's not possible because there is no soul. They do not undergo this six kind of changes. So then the gigantic universal form of the Lord is called Adi Daivata, is contemplated by the neophyte who cannot approach the Supreme Lord in his manifestation as super soul. Hmm. So which the question was raised by Arjuna, what is Adi Daiva? Universal form of Lord that includes all demigods, Virat Rupa, Dharana Asraya of a tasked yogi. Planetary systems as his limbs, like Patal, bottom of the feet, Rasatal, heels and toes, Mahatal, ankles, Talatal, shanks, mm, Sutal, knees, Beetle, lower part of the thighs, Atal, upper part of the thighs, Mahital, hips, Bhuvar, navel, Swarga, chest, and then Mahaloko is neck, and Janaloko is mouth and face, Tapoloko is forehead, and then Saptiloko is head. Huh? So this is the Virat Purush. So then he asked, Arjuna asked, who is Adi Yagya? Super soul situated in our hearts called Paramatma. Paramatma, Dharanasya of detached yogi. In the process of sacrifice, the living entity makes specific sacrifices to attain specific heavenly planets and consequently reaches them. When the merit of sacrifice is exhausted, the living entity descends to earth in the form of rain, then takes on the form of grains, and the grains are eaten by man and transformed into semen, which impregnates a woman, and thus the living entity once again attains the human form to perform sacrifice. So repeat the same cycle. In this way, the living entity perpetually comes and goes on the material path. The Krishna conscious person, however, avoids such sacrifices. He takes directly to Krishna conscious, thereby prepares himself to return to God. So these are all sacrifices. Like a uh, living entity descends to earth in the form of rain. uh, so rain is the ahuti for the earth. Then from that rain there is grains. So grains are now ahuti for the man who eat it. Then there is semen. So semen is the ahuti for the woman. Then there is again, once again, there is a human form of life to perform the sacrifice. And so repeat the same cycle. So now, by service to Krishna, one attains the real meaning of these words and understands that Brahma or Jiva and Adi Yagya are worth of realizing. In this whole 8 questions, Brahma and Adi Yagya means Lord are worthy for realizing. And the other items like impressions, karma, gross body, and universal form as worthy of rejection. Now Krishna answers the last question of Arjuna about remembering him at the time of quitting the material body. So now Krishna is saying the last question, how to know you are the point of death. So this section is end of life. Just
So, what's through this door? Where do we go? Is it nothing?
Hmm. So Krishna is saying, Antakale cha mameva smaran muktva kalevaram. And whoever at the end of his life quits his body, remembering me alone, ya prayati samadbhavam yati nastyatya samsayah, at once attains my nature, the supreme destination of this there is no doubt. That means whoever at the end of his life quit his body, remembering Krishna, at once attains Krishna's nature like that transcendental nature. He attains. And Krishna is saying, Nastyatra samsaya, there is no doubt. So just as remembering Krishna, one attains Krishna, by remembering something else, one attains that object. Huh? So we see,
Narayan! Narayan! Oh, Narayan!
Stop! Leave this man alone.
Who are you that dares to challenge us? For we are the Yamadutas.
hmm, you must have known about this Ajamil pastime. You know it?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Ranjit ji?
No, Prabhuji.
Mhm. So there was a pious Brahmana, and he was very pious, and he was helping, he was always reading the Vedic scriptures, and then he was helping his father to do sacrifice. So once upon a time, he went to a jungle to collect some woods for the sacrifice. So that time in the jungle, he saw a Shudra and Shudrani. They were embracing together, and then they were kissing together. So seeing this, his mind was agitated, and then later on, he uh, called that prostitute. hmm, Called that prostitute, and then he kept her in his family. Then he, uh, you know, threw out his father, mother, and his wife. Then he stayed with that prostitute, and then uh, he did so many, inhuman things to please that prostitute. Like he used to steal money. He used to threaten the people. He used to abduct the people and then charge the money. Uh, So in this way, but and he then uh, used to beget children in the home of that prostitute. But due to some sanskar he had, he kept the last son's name as Narayan. And at the time of death, when the Yamduta came, out of fear, he called his son as Narayan. That means he was expecting that if I called Narayan, then maybe my that son will help me hmm, from this fear. And but at that time, when Yamduta were about to pull his atma from his body, Vishnudutta came, and then they, threatened them, the Yamduta, and Yamduta fled that place out of fear. So then they went to Yamraj, and then Yamraj was also very sorry, because he also thought that Ajamil was a devotee because he chanted the name of Narayan. So the after that, Ajamil went to Haridwar, and then he practiced about 15 years. He practiced devotional service. Then the same Vishnu came, and then they, uh, you know, uh, took them to the spiritual world, to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, so this is what here it is mentioned, that at the end of life, though he was calling the name of his son, but because his son's name was Narayan, he was delivered. Then this is Gajendra. Gajendra, there is an elephant. Gajendra an elephant, and he was trapped by
कौसल्या सुप्रजा रामपूर्वा सन्ध्या प्रवर्तते उत्तिष्ठ नरशार्दूल कर्तव्यं दैवमान्धिकम् कौसल्या सुप्रजा रामपूर्वा सन्ध्या.
So that Gajendra elephant, he was also trapped by a crocodile, and at the when he was he was going to be defeated. At that time, he called the name of Lord Vishnu. He prayed. The beautiful verses of Gajendra Moksha is written in Srimad Bhagavatam. And then Vishnu came and delivered Gajendra from the clutch of crocodile. And at once he took Gajendra in this elephant body. He took Gajendra to Vaikuntha planet. So on what basis the soul is awarded the next body? So Krishna is saying, Yam yam papi smaran bhavam tyajatyante kalevaram tam tam eveti kuntaya sata tad bhava bhavita. Yam yam papi smaran bhavam, whatever one remembers. Tyajatyante kalevaram, when living body. Tam tam eveti kuntaya, O son of Kunti, he will surely attain sada tad bhava bhavita, a state similar to that object of constant thought. So, since previous thoughts are the cause of the thoughts of the death, one should practice abhyas, remembering Krishna throughout life while doing this duty. Then remember Krishna at the time of death is possible. We accept one body after quitting another, depending on the desires stored in our mind at the time of death, good and bad karma in our account. Like you see how the people suddenly they are leaving the body. Death can come anytime in any way. Where will they go after leaving body? What is the deciding factor? This is what how his thought process is, what he's thinking at the time of death. Like a lusty person may get the body of a dog. Lazy person may get the body of a what you get what is that? Beer, I think. That
Polar bear.
yes. Yes. then sleep for 6 months. Envious person can take the form of a snake. Hmm. Body exposing person can take the body of a tree. And eating meat, he can get a form of lion or tiger. Like Bharat remembered a deer at the time of death and became a deer. Bharat Maharaj, he was, you can read, who is there? Apur Prabhu, you can read.
Yes, Prabhu. Bharat remembered a deer at the time of death and become a deer. So Maharaj Bharat, although a great personality, thought of a deer at the end of his life, and so in his next life he was transferred into the body of a deer. Although as a deer he remembered his past activities, he had to accept that animal body. Of course, one's thoughts during the course of one's life accumulate to influence one's thoughts at the moment of death. So, this life creates one's next life. If in one's present life one lives in the mode of goodness and always thinks of Krishna, it is possible for one to remember Krishna at the end of one's life. That will help one be transferred to the transcendental nature of Krishna.
Hmm. Thank you. So hearing is important, but practical application is the most important. Only then will it will be possible to learn constantly. And so Krishna is saying here that thinking of Krishna always, tasmat sarvesu kalesu. Therefore, at all times you should mam anusmara yadhacha, think of me and do your prescribed duty of fighting. Maya arpita mano buddhir, by offering your mind and intelligence unto me, with your activities dedicated to me, mam evaisyashi asamsayaha, you'll attain me without doubt. Huh? So, if one is transcendently absorbed in Krishna's service, then his next body will be transcendental, not material. And therefore, the chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare is the best process for successfully changing one's state of being at the end of one's life. So, how can we attain Krishna? By remembering him. Abhyasa yoga yuktena. He who practices to meditate. Chetasa Nanya with undeviated mind and consciousness. Paramam Purusham Divyam, upon me, the supreme transcendental person. Yati Parthanu Chintayan, attains me by such constant thinking of me. So now Krishna will tell how one can remember him in different ways. So this is called Yoga Mishra Bhakti. Remember Krishna by Yoga Mishra Bhakti. The Lord doesn't say that one should give up his prescribed duties or engagement. One can continue them and at the time of think Krishna by chanting Hare Krishna. This will free one from material contamination and engage the mind and intelligence in Krishna. By chanting Krishna's names, one will be transferred to supreme planet Krishna Lok without a doubt. So then attaining the supreme. So ways of remembering Krishna. What is that? Kavim Puranam Anusasi Taram. That means Kavim means omniscient. knower of past, present, and future. Puranam, beginningless or the oldest. Anusasitaram, the controller of everything. Then Aniyamsam. Aniyamsam means smaller than the smallest. Sarvasya Dhataram. Sarvasya Dhataram, the maintainer of everything. Achintya, inconceivable. Rupam, with a beautiful personal form. Aditya Varnam, luminous like the sun and self-revealing. Tamasaha Parastat, transcendental to material nature, full of ignorance. Then Krishna is saying, Sat Chakra Yoga. प्रयाणकाले मनसाचलेन भक्त्या युक्तो योगबलेन चैव भ्रुवोर्मध्ये प्राणम् आवेश्य सम्यक् सतं परं पुरुषम् उपैति दिव्यम्. One who at the time of death fixes his life, prana, between the eyebrows, Agya Chakra, and by the strength of yoga, with an undeviating mind, remembers the Supreme Lord with the qualities in full devotion, bhaktya will certainly attain him. So Arjuna did not understand the method of fixing the prana in the Agya Chakra as a part of Sat Chakra Yoga practice. So Krishna will now explain the process of performing it and the goal achieved by it. Krishna. So, as Arjuna could not understand, then Krishna is describing. So, requirements of Sat Chakra Yoga, like Aksharam, Vedo Vido Badanti, Vitaragaha, Brahmacharyam Charanti, and results of Sat Chakra Yoga, Visanti Tate Padam. So requirement is what? Renunciation or no attachment, celibacy, knowledge of the Vedas, and uttering Om. So what is the result? The result is liberation or entrance to Brahman. So process, what is the process of Sat Chakra Yoga? Closing all the doors of the senses. That means withdrawing all the senses from sense objects. That means pratyahar. Fixing the mind on the heart. Fixing the prana on the top of the head. And taking shelter of me, means Krishna, completely. Yoga Dharanam. So what is the destination? Vibrating the sacred syllable Om. If one thinks of me, that means Krishna, Ma Manuswaram, and quits his body, he'll certainly reach spiritual planets, Paramam Gatim. Okay. Then what is the remembering Krishna by supreme bhakti, pure bhakti? Then Krishna is explaining. Ananya Cheta Satatam. Ananya. This is the right method of practicing remembrance of Krishna. Ananya Cheta Satatam. Without deviation of mind to other processes or goals. Yo Mam Smarati Nityasaha. The devotee who always remembers me exclusively. Tasyaham Sulabha Partha. For him I am very easy to obtain, O Partha. Nitya Yuktasya Yogina. Because of his constant engagement in devotional service. That means bhakti versus other paths. The practitioner of Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Hatha Yoga, although have some bhakti added, have their own self-interest. But a pure bhakti yogi is selfless and desires nothing but Krishna's service. Then he is niskama. Therefore, he can attain Krishna very easily. Sulabha, tasyaham sulabha partha. And then now Krishna starts the next theme where he says how to get the impetus to fix the mind on Krishna by describing the results of Keval Bhakti and the result of not fixing the mind on him. So what is the result of pure bhakti? No rebirth for pure devotees. Mamupaitya punarjanma. After attaining me, they never take birth again. Dukhalaya masaswatam. In this temporary world, which is full of miseries. Napnubanti mahatmanaha. Such great souls never return to this world. Samsiddhim paramam gataha. Having attained the highest goal of personal service to me. So having said that, there is no rebirth for one who has spiritual world. Krishna will now contrast it with the temporary material world where there is repeated birth and death. So we have example like Dhruv Maharaj. He went to Vaikuntha with his mother. Dhruv Maharaj was a pure devotee. Then Krishna is saying rebirth is in all planets except Krishna's abode. Brahma bhuvana lokaha. Everyone in all planets up to Brahmaloka Punaravartino Arjuna take repeated birth and death even if they are pious. Mamupaitya tu Kanteya. But one who attains my abode, O son of Kunti, Punarjanma na vidyate, never takes birth again. That means the rebirth of everyone under the control of karma or fruitive actions and reactions stated in the first two lines of the verse 16. Now it will be elaborated in 17.9. The Lord's abode described in the last two lines of verse 16 will be elaborated in verse 20 to 22. So now, material world versus spiritual world. So what is a Brahma's one day? So Brahma's one day is 1000 yuga cycles of human calculation. Same is the duration of his night. Like Brahma lives for 100 years. So you see, this is the calculation. Kali Yuga is 4,32,000 years. Then Dwapar Yuga is twice Kali Yuga. Treta Yuga is thrice Kali Yuga. And Satyuga is four times Kali Yuga. Then this Mahayuga, Dibya Yuga cycle. One cycle of that Satyuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, Kali Yuga. Then one Manvantar, that is 71 Mahayugas. Like one Yuga cycle, Dibya Yuga or Chatur Yuga, is combination of 4 ages of Satya, Treta, Dwapar and Kali. 1 year of human is a day and night of the demigods. 12,000 such demigod years make one Chaturyuga. That means 360 human years into 12,000. That is 43,20,000 human years. 1,000 such Chaturyugas make one day of Brahma. Those lifespan is 100 years according to that calculation. After that, even Brahma's planet along with Brahma and other residents is destroyed. So this is total calculation about Brahma's life and Brahma's one day, Brahma's one night, Brahma's one life, 1 year and one life. Then manifest and unmanifest states of the material world. So at the beginning of Brahma's day, all living entities become manifest. And when the night falls, they become unmanifest again. In this way, the jivas appear and disappear again and again, bhutva bhutva praliyate, as the days and nights of Brahma arrive. So superior to the unmanifest state of Brahma's night in this material world, there another unmanifest nature which is the eternal spiritual world. So now, what is eternal spiritual world? There is another unmanifest nature which is eternal, samatanaha, sanatanaha, supreme, indestructible, and is transcendental to this manifested and unmanifested matter. When all this material world is annihilated, it remains as it is. Abhyakto kshara ityuktas tam ahu paramam gatim. That which is described as unmanifest and infallible, like indestructible or eternal, and the supreme destination, yam prapya na nivartante tad dhama paramam mama. That place from which, having attained, one never returns, that is my spiritual abode. So having described about his supreme abode, Krishna will now describe the process of attaining that abode, how it can be attained. So Krishna's abode is attainable by only Ananya Bhakti, pure Bhakti. Purusa sa para partha, O Partha, the Supreme Person who is greater than all, Bhaktya labhyastva ananyaya, is attainable by unalloyed and undeviated devotion. Yasyantaha sthani bhutani, everything is situated within him. Yana sarvam idam tatam, he is all pervading, although he is present in his abode. So now, from 23 to 28 is what? Devotion. The supremacy of bhakti, pure bhakti in attaining Krishna. Then different times of death. Krishna is saying, I shall now explain the different times at which, passing away from this world, the yogi does or doesn't return to this world. So, two ways of living the body, and candidates and destination. So, path of light. At an auspicious moment in light and fire, by the influence of sun god, fire god. During the day, in Shukla Paksha, that means fortnight of waxing moon. In Uttarayana, 6 months when the sun travels to north. Basically, from Makar Sankranti, that time will start. So, path of light. So, candidates are for Jnanis and Yogis. The destination is Brahmajyoti, liberation, path of no return. Path of darkness. In a darkness night, during smoke, in a Krishna Paksha, fortnight of waxing, waning moon. In Dakshinayan, 6 months when sun enters to the south, travels to the south. That is for karmis. What they will attain? Heaven. That means rebirth, path of return. So, yogi leaving the body is guided by following deities: deity of light, deity of day, deity of waxing fortnight, deity of 6 months, deity of Shukla Paksha, deity of year. And associate of Lord Krishna, Lord, then deity of air, then deity of sun, deity of moon, deity of lightning, deity of water, deity of Indra, deity of Brahma, and then associate of Lord takes him to Brahma. Then path of return taken by the Karmi, Pitriyagya. This is the how he returns to earth. Karmi leaving the body is guided by following deities: deity of smoke, deity of night, deity of waning fortnight, then deity of Krishna Paksha, deity of year, deity of Pitralok, deity of ether, then deity of moon, then exhausts his pious grace, then returns to earth. So at the time of death, the mind carries one to a new life. People in general must leave the body at a suitable time to be assured whether or not to return to this material world. But for the pure devotees in Krishna consciousness, there is no fear of returning to this world. Whether they leave their bodies at an auspicious or inauspicious moment. By accident or arrangement, being fully surrendered souls, they leave everything in Krishna's hands and easily go to the spiritual world. So then, what is the path of devotees and what is then supreme position of a bhakti yogi? Just I will read there. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Yeah, please repeat after me. Naite Striti Partha Janam
Naite
Naite
Sriti
Astri
Parth
Partha
Janam
Janam
Yogi Muhyati Kaschana
Yogi
Yogi
Muhyati
Muhyati
Kaschana
Kaschana
Tasmat Sarvesu Kalesu
Tasmat
Tasmat
Tasmat Sarvesu
Sarvesu
Kalesu
Kalesu
Yoga Yukta Bhavarjunam.
Yoga
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 Yukta
Yukto
Bhavarjuna.
Arjuna.
Yes, Siddharth. Read out.
Although the devotees know these two paths, O Arjuna, they are never bewildered. Therefore, be always fixed in devotion.
And the last verse. Vedesu Yajnesu Tapasu Chaiva
Vedesu
Vedesu
yajnesu
Yajnesu
tapashu
Tapasya
chaiva
दानेषु यत् पुण्यफलं प्रदिष्टम्
दानेषु
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 यत्
पुण्यफलं
यत् पुण्यं
पुण्यफलं
फलं
प्रतिष्ठम्
प्रदिष्टम्
अत्येति तत्सर्वम् इदं विदित्वा
अत्येति
अत्येति
तत् सर्वम् इदं
तत्त्वमिदं
विदित्वा
विदित्वा
यो- योगी परं स्थानम् उपैति चाद्यम्
योगी
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 परं स्थानम्
परमस्थानमुपैति
उपैति
चाद्यम्।
चाद्यम्.
रंजित
A person who accepts the path of devotional service is not bereft of the results derived from studying the Vedas, performing sacrifices, undergoing austerities, giving charity, or pursuing philosophical and fruitive activities. Simply by performing devotional service, he attains all this, and at the end he reaches the supreme eternal abode.
वेदेषु यज्ञेषु तपस्सु चैव by studying the Vedas, performing sacrifices, undergoing austerities, danesu yat punya phalam pradishtam, giving charity, whatever pious results may be obtained, atyeti tat sarvam idam viditva. One can surpass all of them by knowing me, knowing Krishna and my glories, Krishna's glories. So yogin param sthanam upaiti chadyam, and performing devotional service. Such a devotee attains the supreme eternal abode. So the beauty of Krishna consciousness is, however, is that by one stroke, by engaging in devotional service, one can surpass all the results of the different orders of life. So bhaktas are always blissfully engaged. Bhaktas are always blissfully engaged in devotional service. They are never fearful and always have full faith in Krishna. So they easily obtain the Lord. Hare Krishna. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai.